What's going on, everyone? In this video I'm going to talk about the Nikon Z50 and see if it's still good in 2024 and so on. And yes, this Nikon Z50 is still an excellent camera to buy. I wouldn't consider this camera an older camera, even though it was about 4 to 5 years late when it was released back in 2019. I'm just glad the Nikon Z50 is here. And in this video, I'm going to go through why the Nikon Z50 is still a great camera to get, especially if you have Nikon lenses. And let's just get to the specs of the Nikon Z50. It has a 20.9 APS-C CMOS crop sensor. It has a 209-point phase detect autofocus system, which is amazing, and we'll get back to that soon in this video. It has 11 FPS burst shooting. The ISO ranges from 100 to 51,200, and it can expand up to 204,800. And we'll touch a little bit on that later in this video as well. It has a 3.2 tilting touchscreen LCD screen too, which is very nice. It also does 4K Ultra HD video recording, and we'll get more to this later too. It also has full-time eye detection autofocus for both stills and video, and it also has a built-in Bluetooth and Wi-Fi for easy sharing or connecting it to your phone. Just going to the pros about this camera, one of the things I really do like about this camera is the excellent image quality from it, especially for a crop sensor. It also has impressive low light performance. There is 4K video recording with no crop. It's compact and pretty light too. As you can see here, right next to my D7000 and the D300s, and here next to the D40 and the D3100, you can just see how small it is and how portable it can be, especially if you're looking for, a small and lightweight camera. The autofocus is actually pretty fast and pretty accurate as well. And the built-in Bluetooth and Wi-Fi is amazing, especially if you're on the go and you just want to share the photos you've taken right away on your social media platform or just sharing it with others. Another great thing I do like about this camera too is that it's compatible with other Nikon Z lenses and Nikon F mount lenses, especially if you have the FTZ adapter. And depending on which lens you have, it will autofocus, but majority of the Nikon F mount lenses will mount with the FTZ lens adapter. But just make sure that you're doing research to see which lens will autofocus with the FTZ. I don't have that list right now. I'm trying to work on it just because there are a lot of lenses that will work with the FTZ adapter. And just going to the cons, it's not really a huge deal breaker. It's just for me, just nitpicking. As of October 2024, Nikon only has 4 lenses for the Nikon Z50. Yes, you can use the full frame lenses with the Z50 too, but you're not gonna get the real focal length. Like for example, my 24-70 f4 on the Nikon Z50 is gonna have a longer focal length just because of the crop sensor factor. But if budget isn't a concern, the full frame Nikon Z lenses will definitely mount and work on the Nikon Z50. Another con is that it only has one memory card slot too. For me, it's not a deal breaker. For others, it might be. And another con is that it does not have IBIS, in-body image stabilization. So you will need a lens that has VR to really utilize the vibration reduction. And I think for the biggest con that I have with this camera is the battery life, especially if you're doing videos. In my experiences, if you are recording videos longer than 30 minutes, it's definitely gonna drain the batteries really fast, especially if you're doing 4K HD recording. If you're doing 1080, it's probably gonna last a little longer, but from my experiences with just recording at 1080 HD videos, its max is about 30 minutes, and after that, that battery is totally drained. I think that's the only con about the Z50 is that it's the battery. So if you're going to be recording a lot more videos with the Z50, I would definitely highly recommend getting more batteries for the camera. But if you're just doing this for travels, I would say 2 extra batteries is more than enough. I never trusted third-party batteries, but if you do have third-party battery recommendations, please leave a comment below. I've seen a lot of people compare the Z50 to the D5600, probably not a comparison, but just seeing which one's better for them. And personally, overall, I would say the Z50 is a better performer, especially for videos and for photography. I think the only upside between the D5600 and the Z50 is the D5600's battery life. As you can see, this list right here is just the differences between the Z50 and the D5600. The Z50 has 20.9 megapixels, whereas the D5600 has 24.2 megapixels. The autofocus, the Z50 has nearly 5 times the autofocus points compared to the D5600s. The Z50 has 209 autofocus points versus only 39 autofocus points on the D5600. For video, the Z50 does 4K HD and the D5600 only does 1080p. And as I said before, battery-wise, the D5600 does have the upper hand, but between these two, overall, I would say, again, the Z50 definitely has the upper hand on this one. So in terms of overall performances, I would say the Z50 wins if you're just looking at the specs. If you're looking at budget wise, obviously the D50-600 is definitely more than enough for a camera, but if you're looking to move on to a mirrorless camera, the Z50 is amazing. I really do like the size and weight of the Z50. I think it makes a great camera to travel with. And I recently went on a hike in North Carolina, and I had no issues just carrying it around. And especially with the images, it did not disappoint. I really loved how light it felt compared to its bigger brother, the Nikon Z6. Let's talk about the image quality from the Nikon Z50. Even if with the 16-50, it produces pretty decent images. And you throw a decent lens on the Nikon Z50, and you'll really see the image quality shine. The two lenses that I do love using on this camera is the 40 f2 and the 28 2.8. Those smaller lenses just really makes the camera feel really well balanced too. And here's a few images with the 16-50 here. And here are some low light images with the Z50. While the 16-50 is a very nice and versatile lens, I really do like how compact it is. I let my brother use this camera in Japan, and he said he really liked how small and light it was. So that just goes to show how capable and how versatile this camera is. If you're looking for a versatile lens, the 16-50, like I said before, is pretty good. As of October 2024, Nikon only has 5 DX lenses for this camera. It's the 16-50, the 24 1.7, the 12-28, the 50-250, and the 18-140. And I really do hope Nikon releases more DX lenses for the Z system, because Fuji has amazing lenses. And I really think Nikon can compete with Fuji too. And I recently got the Viltrox 24 1.8, and it's been stuck onto my Z50. Since the Z50 is a crop sensor, the 24mm is actually closer to a 36mm focal length because of the crop factor. But even with this crop factor, it's still a combo that I really like. The image quality from it is still amazing, especially with the 24 f1.8. If the Viltrox 24 1.8 is out of your range, get a used 28 f2.8 lens. The 28 f2.8 Z lens on my Nikon Z50 feels really well balanced too. And the images from it is actually really nice, as you can see here. And I'll have links to both of these lenses in the description below. If you have tried recording on the DSLRs, especially the newer ones, they're probably pretty good, but I still think that the Z systems are definitely day and night in terms of performance. And if you have been shooting DSLRs, you know how much of a hassle it is, especially with how loud some of the lenses are. Most of the Nikon Z lenses are very quiet, as you can see here, for example. The Nikon Z50's video recording performance definitely eclipses the entry-level Nikon DSLR cameras. And you have a good amount of video recording options as well. You can pause the video here and read all the different options that Nikon Z50 has to offer too. Personally, I love using the slow-mo for getting my B-roll footage. So if you love recording slow-mo footage, I would also use this setting FHD 1920 by 1080 slow-mo, or the 30 FPS X4 shown here. To get your slow motion footage, you can have a lot of fun with it. The Z50's video is excellent for content creators, vloggers, and anyone that's looking to shoot for high quality videos. Plus, I think with the really fast eye and face detection, makes it really nice, especially if you're vlogging or taking selfies. As I said earlier before, I think the only downside with recording, these videos is just a battery. So just be wary if you are doing a lot of videos, bring an extra battery. Another downside again too is just the lack of in-body image stabilization, the IBIS. The Z50 does not have it, so you will have to get a lens that has VR. That way if your footage is not super shaky. But here's a video example of me walking around with the Nikon 16-50. And I think it's not too bad. Check it out here. This is handheld. Let's see if I can try to record it with my Z6 here. Let's see. All right, trying to record. As you can see, this is with the Z50, with the 16-50. I'm trying to record as best as I can with these two cameras. But as you can see, it's not too bad if you're just walking around slowly, doing selfies and stuff, walking around. put this away. Alright, I'm just gonna record this way just to show you the B-roll if you're just walking around and trying to record. Walking slowly. So here's a few reasons why I think the Nikon Z50 is still an excellent camera for you to get. It's small and light and it's portable. When I went hiking with it, it did not disappoint. It felt really light and taking a picture with it was a breeze. And you know, with my Z6, I could feel a little bit of weight. With the Z50, it just felt really light, which I really liked. Especially when I was done hiking about 3 miles up and down Stone Mountain State Park in North Carolina. If you want to travel with it, it's one camera I'd highly recommend. Another reason why I really like the Nikon Z50 too is that it also has the customizable user 1 and user 2 settings. So you know how Fuji has their film simulations or their other presets? Nikon has it too, but it's just not that easy to get to. But you can still have that option available to you. Nikon has a custom picture control settings where you can make adjustments in the camera to fit your style of photography. And here's how you do it too. Press menu. And it's this first one right here. As you can see, the white bar on the side is like you're scrolling. It's on your second page. You go to set picture controls. And you can edit any one of these. So if you want to go on monochrome, choose it and you can manage it or edit it. Here, you know, you make your edits, max out that clarity, and then you can rename it. Just for, you know, example's sake, just go with S just to rename it. Press OK. It's saved. Then you want to go back here. You can actually put this menu right here into one of your settings. So we just saved ours. We can scroll all the way over here. And there it is. To use that. Easy as that. I really do like the custom picture control settings. I don't think a lot of people know about it just because it's more of a hassle to do compared to how easy you can do it on Fuji cameras and other cameras. It's a fast way to have the images look the way you want straight from the camera. You can do this for both videos and photos too. Another reason why I like the Z50 is the face and eye detection. Feels like cheating, especially if you're doing portraits, and making sure your subjects are in focus all the time. And another cool thing about the Z50 is the LCD flip screen. It does flip like this, but the only downside is that tripod. So if you are using a tripod, the mount is gonna be right in the way. I don't know why Nikon did this. That's the only downside with this camera, is the tripod mount. But I did find this L bracket and this tripod that moves the tripod mount to the side like this. So if you're interested in this setup, I'll have links below where you can buy this L bracket and this tripod for the Z50. As I said before, overall I would say the Z50 is an excellent camera to get, especially if you're looking to stay with Nikon. If you have a Nikon D3000 series camera or the D5600s or the D7000 series cameras and you're looking for an mirrorless upgrade or just a backup mirrorless camera, the Z50 is definitely a solid choice. I would highly recommend. If you love traveling and you're looking for a portable mirrorless camera, don't miss out on the Z50, especially with the Z50's top-notch image quality and also its low light performance and its fast autofocus. So if you have a Z50, leave a comment below and let others know what you think about it. And if you think about getting one, feel free to ask in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer. And if you've gotten this far, I really truly appreciate you watching throughout this whole video. And I really hope this video helps you decide if you want to get the Z50 or not. And as I said before, if you have any questions, comment below. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help my channel grow. I just want to say thanks for watching. Again, like I said, if you have any questions about this camera, leave a comment. And yeah, thanks for watching. See ya.